What up, fools?
What up, fool?
This is Foolosophy with Marcus Crespo
And Dan Venti.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, we are doing another evolution, and we're talking tonight. We're talking tonight about social media.
Yeah.
Social media. But because on brand with the podcast name, we're going to talk about people who have done foolish things on social media.
Incredibly stupid things.
I know I've done a bunch of dumb things.
Who hasn't done stupid things? Social media, by and large, is very stupid.
Oh, it is.
I feel like it's meant to just ruin your life.
Well, because social media. Here's the thing about social media. Why it fucks up so many people is before social media, you just did something stupid around a small group of people, and then no one else saw it. No one recorded it. There was no cell phone cameras. And then you just told other people, and then it went through the game of telephone poll or telephone, and then like by the end, by 15 years later, the story is so exaggerated that no one believes it. You know,
Yeah.
Now social media is like a receipt of your stupidity. it's like, and you can't return it. You know what I mean?
And people walk around with the veil or the I feel like young people, especially like if you really like care about that stuff, they walk around with like the pressure of like their image on social media and real life. It's like you have both of that to deal with, and it's an incredibly like stupid waste of time. But
it is. And it sucks. It sucks as like, and you get this. I mean, the fact that we're doing this podcast, like, you get how social media is a very good tool to promote things. But I think people forget about, like, when they're trying to promote things, especially when they're trying to promote themselves. If you're an artist, you tend to post. It's like a highlight reel, like the best of,
Yeah.
And the thing is, so many people have rapidly declining mental health, and we do things.
The most always like the mental health, the people who are like struggling the most always post like nature pictures with quotes.
Oh my
like
God!
A mountain with an inspirational quote over it.
I lost. Anytime I see a waterfall with a quote, I'm like, all right, this poor girl is going through it. It's I mean, there's dudes post different things. Dudes post they'll post like a picture of Rocky and then an inspiration quote.
Yeah.
That's how guys do it.
It's equally cringy.
Yeah.
I saw one recently. It's like it was like, never wake a sleeping wolf or something like that.
Oh, I forgot about those guys.
Oh my God,
the guys that
so
clearly served 2 years in Afghanistan or something like that, and it's like now they're in a.
Boy, talk about stupid things.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot about those guys. Those quote like those alpha male types that clearly own 7 guns.
Yeah,
and
they always have a shirt that's like has a flag on it, but it's like tattered, and it's like gray and black.
Oh yeah.
It's got like it'll have like a skull.
Yeah.
Either that or it'll be like
some gave all gave some.
Yeah.
No, all gave some gave all.
Are we just trashing the military?
No, not trashing the military.
People.
It's okay.
I feel like these aren't even people who serve in the military. It's just like people who admire the military or
uber patriots. People that are uber America. Like their whole, like when they go to sleep, it's just a fever dream of Hulk Hogan, leg dropping terrorists. Like that's what I think of these people when they go to sleep. It's like that. It's like they some of the based on the age is like there are people who probably were raised in the 80s at the height of patriotism. The 80s going into the early 90s, that type of.
Do you blame that peak patriotism on Hulk Hogan?
Well, he was like
probably part of it
for
right?
kids. He was like literally the
I am a real American,
the parade leader of that.
Holding that flag.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just he was like the mascot of that whole thing for kids. So people my age that are that way, I would say he's not the blame, but he's like the person that they came up with, like that guy, man. Because some of his own promo pictures,
like it was part of.
He made uber patriotism cool. It was palatable, and marketable, And I mean, because there was other things that existed like Captain Planet and shit like that. But
I also think it's like kind of like well, I feel like we're getting off track of social media, but uh, I was gonna say it's kind of like it's funny how they always like groups, subgroups, and I guess that has to do with social media. Subgroups always dress the same, you know.
yeah, no,
People,
it is social media.
That like Uber Patriot group, like there's almost like a uniform you could put them in.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about social media is just essentially personal social marketing. That's all it
Yeah.
is. So, like in the '80s, they didn't have social media, but you had TV. You had TV and commercials.
Yeah.
TV commercials, magazine print, that type of thing. And so, yeah, you get influenced by that. You get influenced by your groups. Like I'm wearing a wrestling shirt right now,
Sure. Are.
and so that like when another guy sees this who's into wrestling, it's like, yeah, that's my guy. That's I don't know him, but I know I will bond with him over something, and that something is that shirt. And
Yeah.
that's these Patriot guys. Is they'll get together, have a barbecue. It'll be 14 raised trucks in a yard,
Mhm.
and then
They have like a $5,000 AK-47.
they all got AKs. They all got guns, and they will stop zero terrorists domestically. They
Yeah.
will probably be domestic terrorists. I just that's just my personal bitterness. I've worked a couple shootings, and all these guys with guns were not there, and I know that mall had guys with guns that were all stopped. Well, there was two shooters, and I didn't see anyone. I was unarmed. Mall security, and I was the only one. So all that stuff means nothing because how many shootings you see, and how many of these guys, good guys with guns, stop them? None. So it's just a bunch of like the only people that are getting stopped, good guys with guns that get stopped are when they get personally robbed. It's like, okay, cool.
I saw one in a church the other day.
Oh, really?
Some guy shot, but he shot two people.
Oh, he got two people.
He got two people
before the good guy with the gun.
and then it was in like Texas or somewhere, Oklahoma,
Well,
somewhere.
there's no good guys.
And
Everyone has guns in
80,
Texas.
yeah, there was like 80 grandparents pulling out handguns.
That's
like,
hilarious.
but whoever pulled out first shot the guy. You ever see on Facebook Live, the people will live stream like them doing crimes or like running from the cops,
Yes.
or murdering people or getting murdered.
I was watching Investigation Discovery,
Rapping
and
in a car and get murdered on Facebook
that
Live.
was I think that was in Jacksonville. One of those was in Jacksonville. There
Oh,
was
really?
Yeah. There was a.
Was it in Moncrief?
Yeah, it's but there was a guy in Jacksonville, was a rapper who I think he's on trial right now, who committed a bunch of crimes and then rapped about it in a studio the same day.
I remember. I think maybe you were telling me about that.
Yeah. Like even one of my buddies in Orlando did a parody video of that, like where he's just like, all right, I need to go in the studio and lay some tracks, and he's just like, yo, I just robbed this guy on 45th and 17th at 9:45, 15 minutes ago, and it's like, what are you doing right now? He's like,
Very
my
specific.
tag numbers are 876. Like, it's so funny, and so that I think another thing is also like there's going with the rapidly declining mental health. There's a lot of people that just need therapy or a journal or a diary. People going on Facebook. I've been guilty of it myself. Just having a rough day, and you go and you post this like Twitter. My Twitter feed is garbage. Like I'll post a bunch of clips and stuff, but I have no following there. So sometimes when I'm just very like I have something to get off my chest, but I don't want to burden any of my friends.
Yeah.
I'll just post some vague, like what they call vague posting. Well, the problem
What
is
is that?
Vague posting is like, let's say a girl caught her boyfriend cheating, and she's like, "Well, another one bites the dust."
Oh, so it's like alluded, like a.
Yeah.
It's like every Britney Spears post.
Oh my God, or every woman post.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women. That sounds sexist. I apologize, but like.
You're just getting along with women.
Yeah. No. There's a lot of women of a certain age range. I'd say like once you hit like 25 to like 50, there's like this big 25-year gap, and there's a lot of those ladies, especially the ones that have been in like long-term relationships, regardless of their age, and they get fed up, and it's like. It's a lot of that vague posting, oh my God, I got into it with him again. And then I think it's more of an attention thing where it's like leads people into asking you questions and
Throwing feelers out for a white knight.
Yeah, or just someone to listen to them.
Yeah.
Honestly. But yes, but then there's people that are just dumb or post dumb. Like some of those dumb things I posted weren't intentionally dumb at the time. It was just bad timing or I didn't know it was bad timing. Like I posted me and a lady we had a couple nights fling, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then my thing was I'm not good at just being like, "Hey, I would like to have sex with you." And then her being like, "Okay, get in there." So unfortunately, my thing is I approach a conquest the same way I approach a possible lifelong relationship. The same way, like getting to know them and all that stuff like that.
Oh.
So it's misleading. I guess gaslighting would be the term for that. I didn't realize I gaslit the way I did, But so I just went along with it because I didn't know any better. Not that I didn't know any better. That was the only way to talk to girls that I knew of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just never had the confidence for the other thing. And so we had our thing, and then she was like, "Well, are we like official?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." Because I was just, just in not a good headspace, and I was like, I made it official like that night. I changed
on Facebook.
made the status. I was like, yeah, in a relationship, and holy shit, I didn't realize how many people were like really, really hoping and happy for me.
Gunning for you,
bro. It was like 400 plus likes.
Oh wow,
400 plus likes. A lot of comments, like 100 plus comments.
So happy for you.
Super happy for me.
So glad it wasn't me.
Probably. Yeah, there was, my thing is I'm very flattering. I'm a very flattering type person.
Yeah.
I like boosting people. I like that. I like doing that. And I noticed that women tend to respond to that well. Like they just like that. But also it comes off as flirty. Sometimes I am flirty. But I just try to keep it across the board.
Yeah.
So they don't know. Like, it's a flirt, doesn't matter. That way I can compliment someone and it never is perceived as one way or the other.
Yeah, you're just.
But there was a lot of people who were happy for me, and then literally 24 hours, 48 hours later, we were already done.
So what happened? How did it end?
Really badly, really, really badly. It was just a mess. It was a mess.
Too bad for the podcast.
My thing. Well, it gets real personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah. Just know that sex complicates things, and it got real complicated. So yeah. So
don't post about it on Facebook.
Yeah. No. I mean, see here. That was another thing, is because she was bitter. She was bitter about how things went. And understandably so. If people knew more details, which I'm not going to dispose, because I just feel weird because out of all my exes and stuff, she's the only one who's not cool with. She's the only one I'm not cool with. She's the only one I'm not communicating with in any way, shape, or form. So she wouldn't be cool with any of this stuff. It caught wind of it, but. Where was I saying? Fuck, I just lost track of what I was talking about.
I always had to.
Oh no. She was bitter. She was very bitter, and unfortunately, I met her through comedy, so she had a lot of mutual friends of mine.
Oh.
So, and that was another thing. It's so you can't just have a fucking bad breakup, and then try to go about your life when you have someone who's mutual friends with. Because I posted a show posting hey, come out to this show, and then she fucking decimated me in the comment thread, and then I got a bunch of those Chris Pratt gifs where it's him at what's that show? He's on NBC, Community.
Oh yeah,
where he's Community, where he's doing that little wide open why that. It was a bunch of, and that's where social media is dangerous too. Is your sins, there's people. Okay, I pulled up some little pictures. I think I showed you some of them. One of them was there was a guy. He decided to siphon gas from a cop car
and post it.
He posted it on his Facebook, his personal Facebook.
Full name wasn't. I mean, and I
could tell from the post. This was when Facebook didn't really monitor your fucking name. You could you could be like Fuckstick Johnson, and they were just all right, cool, he's Fuckstick Johnson. But this dipshit was named Kevin Kevin Kevinson or whatever Williamson, and he posted it, and then didn't even have the wherewithal to like block out the department of the cop car.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, you
what
can
city?
see what department where the cops are, the guy's full name, his face is clear as day.
Clear as
It's
day.
a
He didn't
great
block,
picture.
and he's like
He's
thumbs up in
smiling.
it.
Yeah.
He's super happy.
Yeah.
And it showed. I mean, and then you see the gas going into the little gas. Oh my god, it's fucking awful.
In action, yeah.
And you mentioned some Facebook Live. I was watching Investigation Discovery,
Okay.
and there was a couple people on Investigation Discovery that did actual crimes. They Facebook Live. The one of them like Facebook Live them robbing a liquor store.
Oh.
Yeah, they Facebook Live them robbing, and another one was a girl was Facebook Live, and then a guy she pissed off kicked in the door, and then held her at gunpoint, and eventually killed her.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, like I mean that's
Oh,
man.
stream. I've seen a bunch of people like get shot on Facebook Live, like when they're streaming.
Yeah,
And you said one of those was in Jacksonville.
yeah. One of them was in Jacksonville. It was I think it was a rapper or
Yeah.
something like that. Who was like boasting, "Oh, we got a rope in his hood and all this stuff like that," and it turned into a firefight and he ended up getting shot. I think killed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, ironically, the other dude, the guy that they were going to roll up on, was also Facebook Living, and he Facebook Lived him shooting the fatal shot. I think is what it was.
Oh.
Yeah,
Two angles.
two different angles. Yeah,
Jesus.
but it got all the crime on the
Yeah.
you know, unbelievable. What was one of the dumbest things you ever done on our social media?
Well, I posted after Trump won the election. I've posted making fun of it.
Oh my god! Like making fun of Trump or
Like the election, like because I was like so shocked that he won,
okay,
and it wasn't like no way at all pro Trump. It was like, haha, I can't believe like this is happening kind of thing.
oh, I can't believe a reality star.
Like how a comedian would
Yeah.
make fun of a funny major event. You know?
Okay,
But I think it was just like too soon for people because the people got so mad.
oh my god,
And people like took it very seriously, and they also like misconstrued it. Like because I was like making light, like joking about it, they were like, "You must have voted for him because you're not upset. You're not like crying,
Yeah.
that he won. You're just making fun of him."
oh my god.
And I was like, "Oh no, I didn't even vote. Like I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just making jokes."
You made it worse unintentionally because then they're like, "You didn't vote. Then you're even more of the problem."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
Then they yell at you like, "Oh, if you voted, then the other
would
person
be in
would
this
have."
problem. Now
Yeah,
it's-
what a
now you took on-
cost us the election. Yeah, it was.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was like it was a weird time. It was like yeah. So that was like regrettable because I was like just making jokes.
Jesus.
I also I've done like insensitive. It's just like as I've gotten older, I've gotten more like I had a really like cutting sense of humor growing up, and I still do like really dark stuff makes me laugh the hardest.
Yeah.
But the world isn't as dark, you know?
Yeah.
And my personality is very laid back and like light, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like my
You're
humor.
not like super emotionally invested in a lot of these things.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Zero.
yeah.
But it just makes me laugh. Like I just like to laugh at it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I've like posted like really insensitive stuff before, but that I guess I don't know. I don't regret any of it. It's
Yeah.
always like it's
I
always a joke in there, you know?
Yeah, people get real emotional about stuff. I get it. It's weird. I get it and I don't get it. Like there's times where I'm like really like I'm really in my emotions about something and I'm like, hey man, don't. But then there's other times where I'm like almost like nihilistic, where I was like, no, I don't care about nothing. You know, all lives matter, Black lives matter. How about no lives matter? Like it's very, I don't like that, but it's sometimes I get that feeling. And ironically, I did a comedy show the night of the election when Trump won.
Oh yeah.
And
God, that's tough.
have you ever tried to perform when people are openly weeping? Openly weeping. I performed at a funeral
sobbing.
and I never had to do that. Like I mentioned before a couple of times. Like I performed at my grandma's funeral It was like an impromptu set. Yeah. And I didn't even have to deal with that then. Like this is just a couple of college age girls just openly weeping about Trump winning. I've gotten in trouble before though, social media wise. A couple years ago, I did a show in St. Pete.
Oh, I got a story for you.
Okay.
After this.
Yeah. A couple years ago, I did a show in St. Pete, and I was at a Kava coffee bar. It's like very super.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
I mean, CBD sells Kava and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like that's weird. That one's owned by someone who I think is like a Trump voter or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're deviating too far from that. This was as liberal as liberal could get. Like, the servers are girls who don't shave their armpits and shit like that. Like, it's, Now the guy that ran the show is like our speed. Like, like I mean, probably more your speed. He likes the darker. He laughs at that type of stuff. So at the time I had a bit about me being called to stop a shoplifter who was like a 6'5" transgender shoplifter. Now I said the word transgender, but at the time that was not the nomenclature that I used for that person. I used the word tranny.
Yeah.
A lot in the bit, a bunch, and because that was just the term, and I grew up with that was the term, and so at the end of the joke is like where basically I get the transgender shoplifter in a headlock, and the transgender shoplifter was wearing like blonde wigs, sundress, the whole nine, and all this lady going into her like Honda CRV or whatever saw was me chokeholding a lady, and the end of the bit was, and this is pretty much verbatim, where she's like, "What are you doing to that lady?" I'm like, what the fuck? You don't see me? You didn't see this lady beating the shit out of the loss prevention officer? All she saw is this, and she's responding. So I'm pissed off, and I go, "It's a dude." That's what I really said. That's what I said, and so it's a.
I can just picture.
Yeah, it's
great.
I mean, it's such a shocking, not shocking, but like it was in earnest. I wasn't trying to be offensive.
Yeah,
I was just relaying a verbatim.
You're just trying to clear your name, your good name in the situation
to the lady. Yeah. And so now they post it because that bit was killing it on the bar show circuit, and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, at one point, I think that I used that as a closer very briefly. I mean, it's a long story, and so they posted on the clip on the site for the show, and he's like, "Are you okay with me posting this?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you think it's funny, go ahead and post it." Then I go about my work day, and then my phone is blowing up. I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I look, and I'm like, 500 comments. What is this? And I didn't have time. I was still at work. I was like, I'm not gonna read all those. I'll check them later. I got off work. And I'm in the parking lot, and I'm like, "What the 948 comments now?" We're at
Oh my god,
948 comments, and it got posted to the Kava Comedy Night, which is linked to their site.
Yeah.
So all their normal patrons, even the ones that don't go to the comedy shows, were viewing this.
Oh.
And losing their fucking shit. They were like, "He needs to never do comedy.
This is hate speech."
Dude. I've been falsely accused twice by women for different things, and he touched me, but it was like they were trying to make me out to be creepy when it was unfounded.
Yeah.
But I'd never been in jeopardy of being like canceled. They were calling me. They were like,
"Cancel him.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him."
Yeah.
And then at one point, I had an actual transgendered woman arguing on my behalf against a girl named, a they/them pronoun person named Susan. And it was just like the transgendered woman was like, "I'm actually transgendered. I should be offended, but I think this is hilarious, and I think you're a fucking idiot," to this other person on my behalf. And at that point, 948 comments, and honestly, it was probably closer to 980 by the time I reached out to the guy that promoted the show. Like, get the fuck rid of that video.
Yeah.
I'm tired of getting notifications, or at least untag me. I don't care, but I don't want it out there anymore, because now I'm like, because I mean, I've always had a reputation for being fairly likable and not being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so now this is like, what is this? Like if I was like an Anthony Jeselnik type guy, maybe
Yeah, like if it comes with your character, I know it's like, I've done sketches and we've posted sketches to the internet back when like it wasn't anything, it was
yeah,
just comedy.
yeah,
And it's stuff now that I'm like, I've researched for it because I'm like, if this is anywhere, I got to get it off the internet.
yeah.
Because I'm terrified of it.
Yeah.
Somewhere someone has. I don't know.
It's weird. I don't know how to feel about it because like on one hand, whenever sometimes there's someone that you don't like there's a personality or like a political figure, you're like, I hate that that piece of shit. Like I'm not super political, but there's people I know that are just bad people.
Yeah,
it's bad people, and I'm like, and then
all
they're
of
like,
them.
yeah, pretty much all of them. But like, and they're like, oh, we found some Twitter stuff from like, I'm like, yeah, fuck them. But then even then though, I'm like, at what point do we stop digging? At what point do we accept? At what point do we accept that people can change?
Yeah.
Because like it's so weird because like we praise alcoholics who get rehab, but then we go and like tear down a legacy of someone who posted some insensitive tweets when they were 22.
Yeah.
Like so what like where's the barometer?
I don't know. I hate all that shit. I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
But speaking of posting dumb things on social media, this isn't a personal story. This is a good friend of mine in San Diego. He
shit.
lost his job.
Fuck.
I won't say his name, but any of my friends know who I'm talking about. My buddy worked at a bank, and he exchanged currency.
Yeah.
So he didn't work directly for the bank, but he worked in the bank for some other company that exchanges currency.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but anyway, he worked in the bank. And he was bored, I guess, one day, and he goes on Twitter, and he goes, if anyone wants to rob a bank, I have a great plan, and mentions the bank that he works at.
Oh my God.
And he got like a little while later got like called in, and they're like, what's this? And he was like, oh, it was a joke. And they're like, no.
Holy shit.
And they fired him.
They didn't do anything further, like
No. He didn't get like in legal trouble or anything.
Oh.
I don't know if that's like breaking the law or anything.
That's crazy.
Because he was genuinely like, I know him, and he was joking, but it was like this. Everyone was like, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, it's one of the stupidest social media posts I've ever.
Yeah,
seen.
that's a very extreme version of like the common trope of like you call out sick from work and then posting that you're at a bar.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's insane. I'm surprised he didn't
mention them.
Dad, what the balls? Good God, balls on this guy. Speaking of banks, I think this would be a good time to insert a Easter egg. If you are listening to this right now, if you're listening to it at this point, I want you to, if you're following our social media, Instagram, YouTube,
At Foolosophy Comedy.
Private message us a screenshot of you listening to this episode at this particular moment, or just listening to this episode, and I will send you $10 on Venmo. Speaking of banks, I love dropping these Easter eggs. All right, we're going to continue.
Yeah, that was everyone. He like came back after he was fired, and he told all of us, all of his close friends, and he kind of told us, was like, could you believe they fired us? And everyone was like, you are an idiot. You like, not one person was like, oh, I could see why you would.
Wow.
There's like no. Like,
no. I mean,
insane.
That's the level. I don't know the level of bold, crazy, or stupid.
I don't know. Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, foolish.
Yeah. Oh. Cha-ching.
Boom, boom. No, I've seen at this point. I've seen or known about relationships being destroyed by like just social media foolishness. I mean, I've seen jobs. I've seen fucking lives lost now at this point.
Do you remember the story about the lady who, she was like a reporter or something, and she posted to Twitter and then got on a plane and flew to Africa and then got off, and her life was different when she, do you know that story?
No.
It's wild.
Okay.
She posted. She was like posted on Twitter. I wish I knew her name or whatever, but she was like some reporter.
Yeah.
But she posted on Twitter like going going to Africa. I hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white. With like a smiley face or
Holy
whatever.
shit.
And this was like this is
I think
like
I did hear about
11 this is like 2010 or something.
Yeah.
Or around that time.
Yeah.
So still wild for that
Twitter
time. Like,
just hit its stride.
but she tweeted it like at the airport, like at the gate or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just like put her phone away and then flew like a couple of hours. But like while she was flying, it like blew up that
Oh my god.
she was like that this people were going nuts and like but she's on an airplane, cannot see
Airplane mode. She's got a little
just sleeping,
the little mask.
eating like those little wafer cookies, sipping a Diet Coke out of those little too much ice,
Noshing on
cup.
almonds.
Yeah. Little peanuts. Can I have extra peanuts?
Yeah.
You know. And then she gets off the plane and then it's like, blew up. I'll send you a link to the article.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, nuts.
Wow. I I know a female comic. That's stretching a little bit, but she's a lady that did comedy here.
Yeah.
And she Facebook lived her nude.
Really?
She got
On
drunk.
purpose?
She got drunk. Yeah, she got drunk and Facebook lived, and I got a message from a friend of mine like, dude, are you checking this shit out? I'm like, what? And he's like, check out so and so's Facebook Live right now. It's wild, bro. And so initially, when he caught wind of it, it was like she was drunk and she was like in a brawl, and then she was like just breaking coffee mugs or something like that. And then,
oh my god.
So when he sent me the link or told me about it, I got on there, and then he texted me. He's like, "Are you seeing this shit?" I'm like, "Yes." It was fucking. She's now completely nude, and then she's just like doing all the other shit that she was doing, like just like drinking milk out of the carton all nude, and it was like, what the fuck is happening? And so then another friend,
It's kind of awesome.
yeah, and then another friend, like another. There's several other Facebook Live stories that are like kind of like that where people fell off the wagon.
Yeah,
and then it's like, all right, it's not entertaining anymore. Like now we're worried, you know. Because I think someone reached out to her, and then I think that night she ended up getting Baker acted.
She got what?
Baker acted. You know what Baker Act is?
No.
Okay, Baker Act is where
I felt like I was having a stroke. I was like, I don't.
Yeah,
I felt like you're just talking a different language.
So it's
Baker acted.
Okay, so it started with her getting drunk on or high or whatever she was on, pills. I can't remember. Her starting out with her just drunk shenanigans.
Yeah.
My buddy's like, dude, are you seeing this shit? She's like breaking coffee mugs, and I'm like, all right. So we're watching, and then I guess he told a couple other people. So now we're all watching this comedian friend of ours just have like wild shenanigans, and I've done that before. I've been on a couple of those where it's like, oh, Crespo's drunk. What? That never happens, you know. Well, then it devolved in her just completely getting nude on fucking Facebook Live, and we're like, oh, dude, I don't know how to feel about this. Feels voyeuristic, you know, that type of thing. Then it was like her arguing with herself, like no one's there, and then she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna kill myself. And then that's Baker Act is when you threaten to kill yourself, and then they call the cops and they put you in an asylum or they put you it somewhere where you can't harm yourself. Yeah. So it started out her drunk shenanigans, and then it ended with her 3-day stint in a detention facility of some sort, where she couldn't harm herself.
Because she got drunk and live streamed. She said, I'm going to kill it. Oh, my God.
What she was saying was very intense. It was just I'm tired of this. I'm tired. Like, basically, she's giving like a manifesto.
Suicidal stuff.
Yeah, like a suicide note. Like, but verbal.
Your eyebrow went so high.
Huh?
You just gave me the people's eyebrow.
Oh, yeah. But
suicidal. You should have heard her.
It was, but also she's nude. Like, it's just really weird.
Yeah,
like,
that's intense. So she had like a mental break, maybe?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
While also under the influence of whatever the fuck she was under.
Jesus. Dude.
Yeah. So that happened. I mean, there's a couple of those. Dude, comedians are already fucked up, or just entertainers in general. But like,
well, yeah.
And then you throw in social media, and then that's where craziness begins. You know.
What about some of those light ones you have?
Oh, the
The
lighthearted ones.
screenshots, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's toss in a light.
yeah.
Let's toss in a Miller Light there.
Yeah, little light ones. Okay, this is kind of lighthearted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's a breakup type thing where someone get caught cheating, but I thought it was funny. It was basically a dude who left his Facebook open. He was chatting with a girl named Kelsey or something like that, and so his girlfriend, beautiful handwriting by the way, she catches wind and she leaves him a note that says, "Got a message from Kelsey. Yeah, you know." And basically, long story short, she goes, "I didn't break your stuff, but I did put it places." She goes, "Your clothes are where we first met." She goes, "Your video games are where we first kissed. Your laptops are where we bought our first video game together. Your TV's where we went all the way. And then everything else, including pictures of the last 2 years of our lives, is at Kelsey's house." And then she's like, "Have
I
fun."
was just say, yeah, everything's in her bedroom.
Yeah, pretty much. We went.
It's all at my house.
We went all the way in Kelsey's bed. That bitch. But yeah, that's fairly lighthearted. This one's not bad. I don't know if it's like real or not, but it's like basically it's like the girl's texting her boyfriend or whatever. She's like, "Hey, I'm working late tonight," and he's like, "Are you sure you're working late?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're doing inventory." And he's like, "I think you're out with Mark again. I think you're still cheating on me." And she's like, "Nothing's going on. We talked about this in therapy. I can't believe you doubt me." And he's like, "I'm across the bar with my boss. Look up." You know.
Therapy.
Yeah, and then the rest of them are just like goofballs. This one's funny. Now this one's funny. They posted a wanted sign for this guy. I don't know what he did exactly. I didn't really read. It's a warrant for his arrest.
Yeah.
And so the police department decided to hit up social media to post, "Hey, be on the lookout for this guy. His name's David McCombs. $60,000 bond or whatever." Oh shit! Oh wow. Okay. Well, this makes it less funny. What he did, rape by force.
Jesus.
Well, I thought it was. I don't know.
I said a light.
I didn't know because the rest of it's funny. The rest of it's funny. It's okay. So they posted. Okay, we're gonna change the crime to jaywalking with malicious intent. Can't come back from it.
Yeah, can't.
God damn it! I should have read
What was
that.
that? What did he write?
Okay, so it's
A Cosbeater.
they posted it in state, and then he goes, "Good thing I moved out of state."
Oh my god.
And then it goes, "Doesn't matter. We moved the warrant calls for nationwide extradition." So it's this long-winded back and forth with the fucking idiot chimed in on his own warrant arrest on Facebook. I just wish it wasn't rape by force as the crime, because that story would have been way funnier. Now I feel like a piece of shit. I feel like a fool.
Well, that's foolish.
It's very foolish. Yeah. So insert a little less doldrum crime, rape by force. So this is me.
Bound to get dark every once in a while.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. I think there was another one of those, though, and I can't remember but what he did. I don't think it was rape by force. I think there was a one where it was like he had a warrant for his arrest. I think it was like speeding tickets or something.
Yeah.
And it was another where he chimed in on his own post of his warrant.
I hit the balls on these people.
Yeah. Well, I think they're just naive or dumb. They don't know that IP addresses exist.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, they'll never catch me. My IP address is in Iowa, and that's for Alabama." It's like they could track you, dude. It's triangulation or whatever they call that, you know.
Yeah.
So
My God.
that's insane.
So there's a lot of dumb people out there. An endless supply. That's the beautiful thing.
It's an endless supply of people doing dumb things on social media specifically.
Yeah.
I think because like you get on social media for promotion or clout or whatever the reason you know to
Connect
get
with people or whatever.
Connection, get your product, your ideas out there. And then, like I said, the rapidly declining mental health of the United States and just the world at large. And then once those demon monkeys kick in and like they need to start posting stupid shit, you know, it's usually mundane. Like I said, like those like women that are in like rough marriages and they post the waterfall pictures with some quote.
Inspirational quote.
Yeah, it's like oh cool, it's a photo of Bob Ross and a quote that he never said, that type of thing. Live, laugh, love. I don't remember Bob Ross saying
Picture
that.
of an iceberg, and it says you and then me.
Yeah.
The bottom I'm deep.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But then it devolves into just like, you'll never catch me. I just robbed this Burger King. Oh, but he takes a selfie, and then somehow when he's taking a selfie, you can see his license tag in the picture or something. Yeah, it's fucking idiot.
My God. But it's like a real consequence putting everyone together.
Yeah.
I think it should probably get worse. Think it'll get worse
What?
in general? Things, social media.
Social media. To some
Or do
extent,
you think they'll crack down on it?
Well, my worry is
They don't like you to have they ban people for saying certain things, but you could
I almost caught a ban.
Oh, really?
Recently, and I actually had to appeal it through Facebook, whatever community guidance.
Yeah.
Where someone posted a show where they were opening for this big comic or whatever, and I go, hell yeah, brother, kill it. And they tried to ban or tried to say I couldn't post they couldn't post the comment, and then they were gonna try to shadow ban me or not shadow ban me. They were gonna try to block me for 3 days, and I appealed it because they said that my comment promoted violence.
Oh my God.
Which, I mean, on one hand, it's annoying, but it's good that they're trying to keep on top of those type of things.
Yeah, I
with
guess
some type
so.
of algorithm. But it's like, so I the option they gave me was pretty cool. Was this comment is being taken out, the comment threat or whatever is being taken out of context.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know they had the option, but that's
I was gonna say there's no context, but that's good that they give you that option.
yeah. I guess after people appealed it, but yeah. So I also realized that entertainers in general are terms for not doing well and also doing well are just so violent or gross.
That's steeped in Jewish. That comes from Jewish culture.
What is
The overly violent terms, or overly dramatic terms for doing well or doing bad, and then describing stuff as miserable.
is
or
it
brutal.
is that just historical or Holocaustal?
It's it's a cultural thing.
Okay.
New York Jewish population, also some German
Yeah.
too. German was more they were caused the directness, but Jewish people would be oh, this. I went to the post office. It was brutal, describing stuff as brutal or horrific or being very.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
That's my New York side. I'll be I'll describe stuff as in very violent, overly terms like that.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh, okay. So
it is actually comes culturally.
it does.
And then comedy, Jewish people have a lot of influence in comedy, so
that makes sense because a lot of, like I said, a lot of terms with the entertainers in general, it's if you did well, you crushed it, you murdered, you killed, and if you didn't do well, you bombed,
You
ate
died.
a dick,
Yeah.
died, or
Yeah.
ate shit, gross. I remember we were in Denny's one time, a group of comics,
yeah,
and we
as
were all
comics do.
yeah, and the reason why
If you're
we
a
go to
comic, you're gonna end up in Denny's.
yeah, Denny's or Waffle House.
Yeah.
And I didn't think we were going to catch. The reason why we go to those places too is they're open late and you can get cheap food, whatever. But also you can just have a candid conversation, and no one's really going to be taken aback by it because it's Denny's at 2
You
in the
get
morning.
loud,
Yeah. Well, apparently that wasn't the case here. There was a lady and her friends or whatever, and it was a bunch of comics all just talking about us killing, murdering, eating dicks, eating shits, bombing, killing, murdering, crushing. And it was just too much for this lady. She's look, I looked over and the look of her face was horrified. She was just and then she's all right, she got up immediately. So we can sit down 10 to 15 minutes. We order our food. Then it's 10 to 15 minutes of that. And her just nervously looking over. And then finally her having enough and getting the fuck out of there. And
Oh
so
my God.
I wasn't used to that. I'm used to people just not skipping a beat. At Waffle House, I could have stabbed one of my fellow comics and then be well, it's Wednesday.
Put a pancake on
yeah.
it.
Yeah. You want that body smothered covers. Oh, shit. But yeah, so social media is a valuable tool for promotion like your philosophy.
Yeah.
But also it can lead to just the destruction of your whole life, your
Yeah.
marriage, your life, your job. You can lose
Yeah.
your life. Weird. That's a weird thing.
It's a double-edged sword. Yeah.
No other thing is really like that I could think of that drastic, like bubble gum. Like you chew bubble gum, you
Yeah.
chew it because of oral fixation or you like the taste. But like you chewing bubble gum is not going to lead to Jeff over here dying.
Yeah, or like people being offended, like you upsetting a lot of people, or like I don't know. Yeah, it's just like
It's weird. It's like the
I've
weirdest.
strayed away from social media. I've just sort of like
That's actually a good thing.
it's I find it's makes you happier, like because I find people just post like all the best things about their life.
Yeah.
So it's not like oh, this is depressing to look at, but it's just the same stuff. It's just like positive things,
Yeah.
which is like that's great and all, but like it's just boring. It's just the same stuff over and
You
over
must
again.
have
It's
cool
boring.
people in your life. It's just positive because my
All my
feeds-
comic friends
my
post.
feed. Oh, your comic friend.
My comic
feeds-
friend will post negative stuff.
Once you get
but-
family on there, that's when like, well, Betty Ann died today, and I was there, and I saw her last breath, and she looked
I
at
always
me.
see like Daytona Comics will post some dark stuff. It always makes me laugh.
Oh yeah, Daytona cats are they're a different breed.
Yeah.
But I maybe I need to start deleting family or just like older people because it's just like you're like, oh cool man, he opened for so and so, that's awesome, and then I scroll down, it's like, well, Jill held me and told me how much death hurts, and like, it's like,
So sad.
yeah, it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But well, that's social media in a nutshell.
Stupidity and social foolishness.
Foolishness is and I mean honestly, and so I think that's a good thing. We'll talk about foolishness in general. I mean, there's foolishness everywhere. There's foolishness in every aspect, and I like it. I like that because it's good to embrace it. It's good to embrace being a fool.
Yeah.
And-
People are too serious nowadays, so I think it's good that we embrace the stupidity or foolishness of things.
And you mentioned how like sometimes you laugh at serious things, and I think there's beauty in that though.
Yeah,
Because then sometimes
it's a
you
way
take-
to deal with it.
You also take away the power of the negative influence of
Absolutely,
that to some
yeah.
extent. And so so there's foolishness everywhere, and we talked about in the social media aspect, but we're gonna cover foolishness in all aspects of life.
That's right.
Whether it be the news, politicians,
Including your own. If you have a story
yeah.
about you or someone you know doing something stupid, like tagging,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
not mentioning a bank,
Especially
that they work
especially
at, because of
if you've
Rob.
done something foolish on social media.
Yeah.
We would love to hear about that.
We'll share it on the podcast, and then
Yeah,
if not, you call in next week.
yeah, for sure.
we'll post that phone number.
Oh yeah, call in. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right,
But until then, always know it's cool to be foolish.
absolutely.
Peace.